My name is Angelique. I just graduated from college and I'm starting my new job, I told my best friend, whom I've known since kindergarten. Angelique, so this is your new employee training, like orientation on my day off? She asked with curiosity. We went to the same college but chose different majors, she continued. I went on to grad school, so I'm curious about your life as a working adult. You won't believe it. We start with a morning run every day, I said. It's part of building our stamina. Wait, really? Everyone has to do that. She seemed surprised, getting a taste of the challenges of working life. Well, unless there's a reason, everyone up to their second year participates. Those with 3 years or more are exempt. But I think about half the company still joins in. The rest do things like crosswords or brain exercises. Wow, that's interesting. I definitely skipped the exercise part, she chuckled in her own way. Our company motto is pretty unique. Always be healthy, work hard, play hard, and live a long, active life. So for the first 30 minutes after starting work, we have time for physical and mental exercises. That's really interesting. Not that I'm a working adult yet to comment. It's like being part of a club or school group, interacting with people of all ages and departments. It's fun. I really like the company I've joined. But hey, you seem tired. You're quite observant, I replied, surprised by my best friend's keen eye. Overall, the atmosphere here is good, but there's one huge obstacle. A supremely arrogant individual stands in my way. Thinking of quitting, my friend's concern was evident. You lack determination, just as I suspected. Our manager, who could sigh for the Olympics, has the power to completely demoralize anyone she sighs at. I continued, describing the situation. She's complaining loudly on the phone with a part-timer who's been absent for days. Her words are sharp, filled with malice, cornering the poor person. She's taking a break turns into days of neglecting her duties, and now she wants to quit. How carefree. I imitated the manager's tone, tinged with sarcasm and menace. The last time the part-timer showed up, I saw her visibly shaken, tears welling up. I sighed, recalling the incident. It took a lot of courage for her to even call. The manager has no choice but to accept her resignation. It would be better if she just let her go without the sarcasm. In this version, I adjusted the dialogue and flow while maintaining the essence of the original story segment. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to refine or expand upon. It's been a month since I joined the company. The first week was spent familiarizing myself with all the departments. Surprisingly, I've already encountered similar situations twice in the past 3 weeks. It's frustrating. She barely pulls her weight and ends up dragging everyone else down. I'm just pointing out the obvious, sighed the manager, known colloquially as the Empress around the office, her brow furrowed deeply. Replacing her will be a hassle. It's only fair she prepares a smooth handover before leaving, isn't it? Tension rippled through the room as the manager sought agreement. Everyone busied themselves with work, nodding without meeting her eyes, but it seems you have something on your mind. Well, as I thought about the part-timer's face, I found myself under the Empress's scrutinizing gaze. Let me ask you, you receive a salary, don't you think you should take responsibility for your work? Yes, there was no other choice but to agree with the statement. The manager knew this well and had deliberately singled me out. Is it acceptable to act selfishly in the workplace? No, but selfishness hinders productivity, doesn't it? I began to respond, but her loud voice drowned me out, leaving me unable to finish. I regret not standing up for the crying part-timer and allowing the manager to dominate the situation. I'm sorry for all the complaining. I didn't mean to bring you down. I started off wanting to talk about the company in a positive light, but it turned into a venting session. Don't worry about it. It's important not to bottle things up, and it's not your fault. Sometimes it's better not to argue back too much. You might end up becoming the next target. Dealing with a manager who mixes power and authority can be tough, right? Just be careful not to get on her bad side. Thanks for sharing. Expressing my gratitude to my best friend, I finally broached the main topic about our upcoming trip. I think I can cover the costs with my savings from college part-time jobs and my first paycheck. I'm planning to take my grandparents to that resort you mentioned before. Do you think they'll enjoy it? This was the crux of what I wanted to discuss. My friend was knowledgeable about travel, having explored extensively with her family. Absolutely, it's a place that even my very picky grandmother loved. My friend smiled in approval. That's great to hear. I really want to make it a special memory for them. Planning the trip with my grandparents meant a lot to me. They had raised me after my parents passed away when I was young. I wanted to repay their love and support, so I had been saving diligently since my college days. Treating them to a relaxing stay at a luxury. With your savings and first paycheck, your grandparents will definitely be thrilled. Seeing my friend smile, I felt a sense of relief. However, it was Friday afternoon, the day before our trip. I was summoned by the manager to her desk. Classify these documents by category and analyze them. They need to be ready for use at the beginning of next week, she instructed, sporting unusually bright lipstick and a self-satisfied smile. Wait, analyze all of these by the end of today, I exclaimed in surprise as I confronted a stack of thick binders, each one hefty and disorganized. Sorting and categorizing alone would likely consume an entire day, let alone analyzing their contents. With an air of triumph, the manager replied, I'm glad you understand. Lately, there have been issues with following instructions. Faced with unjust accusations, I chose to push back. I understand, but it's already Friday afternoon, and there's barely 2 hours left in the day. It's simply not feasible to complete this by Monday. I tried to maintain composure. Ever since our part-time colleague left, it seemed the manager had targeted me, escalating her harassment, excluding me from crucial communications, issuing incorrect directives, then blaming me for misunderstandings. Now, she burdened me with an overwhelming workload just before my long-awaited vacation. My objections seemed to fall on deaf ears. You'll need these ready for Monday. If necessary, you can work over the weekend. And remember, these documents are confidential, so they must stay here. Please, just a moment, I began, but the manager interjected. I have a meeting to attend. I'll be leaving directly from here today, and departed, leaving the stack of documents on her desk. The following day was meticulously planned. Under the expansive sky of our journey, I found myself stifling yawn after yawn with my grandparents. Are you sure you're okay, staying up all night and then heading straight into a trip? Maybe we should have postponed. I'm fine, really. I've been looking forward to this day for so long. Despite having informed them beforehand, my grandparents seemed concerned, anxious that I had stayed up all night before our departure. No, this won't do. This trip is special. I want it to be enjoyable for everyone. I reassured them with a smile. Look at this view, it's breathtaking. The sea is so beautiful. Don't worry about me. I worked hard so I could enjoy delicious food, relax in the hot springs, and sleep in a comfortable bed. My silly antics finally brought a smile to my grandparents' faces as they began to appreciate the scenery with relief. But amidst all the enjoyment, a nightmare awaited me. Did you finish the task I assigned you? You didn't quit, did you? As I strolled alone in the inn after checking in, a familiar voice startled me. Manager, of all places, why here? Seemingly reading my mind, the manager snorted and left. I disrupted your weekend to teach you a lesson. I didn't expect you to ignore my instructions. The manager's words hung over me like a curse, and I felt a wave of dizziness wash over me. So you deliberately gave me an impossible task just as I was starting my vacation. The thought of work intentionally disrupting my time off ignited a surge of anger within me. But how did you even know about my plans? I knew, the manager remarked. You were chatting during break time. Where are you headed? When's your trip? Oh, I'm so envious. You were basking in all the praise. It was quite amusing. Eavesdropping. You were the one talking loudly. Realizing my casual conversations with colleagues were being monitored, I felt a chill. And besides, I'm surprised. This inn seems too upscale for you. Pardon. Confused, I tilted my head, and the manager continued dismissively. You just don't get it. It's unsightly to see common folk wandering around. Look, there's a dilapidated inn next door that suits your type better. I don't understand your meaning. You might find me unsightly, but the rest sounds like insults and harassment, doesn't it? Just as my frustration peaked, a supportive voice cut in. Is that what this is about? It came from behind me. Grandpa and Grandma too. My grandparents, whom I thought were enjoying tea in the room, stood behind me. Judging by their expressions, they had heard most of my exchange with the manager. Mrs. I began to explain, but my grandfather intervened, addressing the manager. Nice to meet you. I'm Angelique's grandfather and have been her guardian for many years. To simplify, I'm the honorary chairman of the trading company that recently discussed a deal with your firm. The manager's face paled. The honorary chairman, but your name doesn't match this employee's. Yes, Angelique uses her maternal surname. Otherwise, she might be treated differently due to her family's reputation in another prominent company. I wouldn't want my granddaughter to face undue challenges at her workplace. I'm terribly sorry. I had no idea. The manager's complexion grew even more pale. Do you believe ignorance justifies rudeness? What? Oh no, The manager, sweating profusely and visibly shaken, stood frozen before my composed grandfather. I regret to inform you that I must relay a message to your company's CEO. I have no interest in conducting business with a company overseen by a manager of your demeanor. Please wait. Despite the manager's pleading, my grandfather continued calmly. My granddaughter joined a company with a noble motto: stay healthy, work hard, play hard, and live a long life. I understand that quirky managers are sometimes necessary for a company's growth, but your conduct is detrimental. If you disagree with my assessment, feel free to ignore it or spread rumors, my grandfather stated firmly, recording the encounter with his camera. Let's see whose side the world takes. True to his word, my grandfather departed, leaving the manager trembling. Throughout our trip, I had been capturing moments with my grandparents using my camera, inadvertently recording the entire confrontation. The manager attempted to appeal to my grandfather, but he bluntly stated, "It's too late now," and walked away, leaving the manager visibly shaken. Wait a moment, can't you do something to assist? After my grandfather coldly dismissed her, the manager surprisingly turned to me for help. I declined. You've always insisted there's nothing a newcomer like me can contribute, I retorted, echoing the sarcasm she had directed at me just days before. Managing to suppress my frustration, I even managed a faint smile. Maybe I should consider a career in acting, I mused inwardly. Then, at the beginning of the work week, an incident involving the manager unfolded. The executive who led our company's running club stood resolutely in our department from early morning. Our company ethos promotes a healthy balance of work and leisure, supporting long and prosperous lives. We encourage diligence, but not at the expense of our employees' physical and mental well-being. The managing director's voice resonated across the office floor. Excuse me. Clearly caught off guard by this morning ambush, the manager began to inquire, her fists clenched in a futile attempt to maintain composure, but the executive intervened. Here are the time cards from last Friday through today. 5 employees worked through Friday into Saturday morning. 3 came in on their days off over the weekend. And this morning, Angelique arrived early. As the manager became increasingly flustered, the records were presented to her. What does this mean? Prompted by the managing director, I stepped forward to clarify. With your directive to organize and analyze a substantial volume of data by Monday, including working through the weekend if necessary, it was impossible for me to manage alone. Fortunately, the executive happened by, allowing me to collaborate with colleagues across departments to complete the task as instructed, using the time and resources I just outlined. As the running club members who assisted were present at the executive's briefing, I took the opportunity to express my gratitude once more. I added, I only worked from Friday night into Saturday morning and again early this morning after returning from my trip. My contribution was minimal, but I appreciate their support. When I bowed, I received kind words in return, like, "We're here to support each other in times of need, and that's what teammates do." The manager finally seemed to grasp the situation and crossed departments to confront me. "Are you saying I didn't authorize this?" At the managing director's stern words, the manager froze in shock. The new member of the running group, always smiling, was in serious trouble. As I understood the situation, I learned that you were burdened with an unreasonable workload. It might have been overlooked, but since it was essential for the company, I took charge and garnered everyone's cooperation. I apologized for the oversight, but first, the managing director fixed a stern gaze on the manager. I cannot condone the malicious intent behind overloading a diligent employee who's also caring for their grandparents with an impossible task purely for harassment. These were the most assertive words I had ever heard from the managing director. His expression softened slightly. The other day, my grandchild visited and insisted on making fried eggs. They were charred and had eggshells, but it was the first time my grandchild had cooked with such enthusiasm. To me, it was a feast. He shared this story, blending his affection for his grandchild with the responsibilities of a supervisor. Despite the chaotic kitchen, my wife was in high spirits all day because I praised the eggs. The proud smile on my grandchild's face was priceless. The managing director's unexpected tale brought tears to the eyes of the employees who fondly recalled their own memories of grandparents. I still remember the taste of my grandma's rice porridge when I was sick, and how my grandpa's comforting words and band-aids seemed to make everything better. Despite nearly laughing at the managing director's endearing stories of his grandparents, I felt a lump in my throat. Wondering if a gift for my grandparents could prompt such an emotional reaction, those who had assisted me that day encouraged me as I bowed. "If you feel you've caused any trouble, the best way to honor us is to enjoy your trip to the fullest," and they sent me off with warm wishes. I cherish this company, all of you, and my job. It's disheartening to see part-time workers and colleagues like myself targeted and leaving due to unreasonable demands. Speaking with all the courage I could muster, my words elicited a warm round of applause from those around me. However, the manager appeared displeased and confronted them. "Is it appropriate to speak like that?" The managing director swiftly rebuked her. "Silence. If you wish to remain with this company, you will forfeit all titles and privileges and be demoted to the same level as a new employee. Effectively immediately, Angelique, who joined slightly before you, will be your superior. Choose your words carefully." Upon learning that the president had endorsed this decision, the manager vehemently shook her head and protested, "No, I won't accept this." But her objections fell on deaf ears. Instead, she faced the cold stares of everyone present. "If you're unhappy, you are welcome to submit your resignation at any time." Well, this marked the downfall of the manager once hailed as the Empress. She was subsequently demoted to a regular employee. Although she lingered at the company briefly, she eventually ceased coming to work, unable to endure the harsh treatment. A few days later, her resignation letter arrived by mail. During that period, our company received media coverage on a TV show titled Morning Exercise, Bonds Beyond Titles, which highlighted me and my grandparents. It was later revealed that viewers resonated with our company's principle, zero tolerance for injustice. Although the unjust female manager remained unnamed, clients easily identified her. Rumors circulated that her chances of securing another job in the industry were slim. Meanwhile, our company smoothly conducted business with my grandfather's company. Collaborating with family members had its awkward moments but also kept me vigilant. Moreover, my reputation within the company soared after the infamous confrontation with the female manager. "Wow, you're so driven. I'd love to work alongside you after I finish grad school," recently remarked my best friend. "I hope that happens too. I've started saving again because I want to travel worry-free with my grandparents. It'll take time, saving little by little, but hang in there, Grandma and Grandpa. I'm committed to cherishing every moment from now on."